Let me give you another example of an unaccompanied minor situation that we've handled. This boy from El Salvador, he was affiliated with a political group. He was about 14, 15 years old. There were two different groups in El Salvador. He joined one. Him and his friends, they liked to play soccer. They went to a neighboring town for a soccer match. Their team, each town had their own team. They were greeted with guns. Shots fired into the air, threats made. Our client was legitimately afraid for his life. And they left. No harm was done. They were accosted on other occasions, but again, nothing serious. And about 3 months later, the soccer players invited them to come back, said, you know what, we apologize, really wasn't appropriate. Why don't you come back and let's actually play the match? And they went, and this time, they were much more serious than before. They accosted his friend, thinking he was the leader of their local political group. Our client tried to calm the situation down, and he got shot. And he got shot in the abdomen. He was hospitalized for several days. While he was in the hospital, a local police officer came and told him if he ever files a report, he'll be killed. And his family will be killed. Now, this was a police officer. Within days, he left the hospital and was shepherded out of the country to join distant family here in the U.S. that he hadn't seen over a decade. He was 15 years old. He didn't remember his family. And he was caught, and he was apprehended at the border. Now, because he's an unaccompanied minor, and because of what had happened to him, he had more than one option. Yes, there's the asylum, withholding of removal, Convention Against Torture. Those type of cases really stem from fear of persecution. And you need to prove that it was either a governmental action or by a group the government can't control for one of 5 discrete reasons. And he had an argument there to make. Whether he could prove it is a separate issue. He also had another option called Special Immigrant Juvenile. And that is predominantly for minor, but here it's defined under 21 years old. Not married, because if he were married, then he would be independent. And he can't, and has to prove that he can't be reunited with one or both of his parents because he was abandoned, mistreated, abused. There needs to be somebody who petitions custody for him, either a parent, a guardian, or a ward of the state. And has to show that it's not in his best interest to be sent back to his country, and that he's a good moral person. So these are the requirements that he would need to prove in order to get special immigrant juvenile status. And it's a longer process. There are 3 different stages. The first one is an order by a family court or a probate judge on the custody guardianship showing those 5 elements. Once that decision, and that's a hearing, once that decision is rendered, it then needs to be submitted to immigration, to USCIS for their approval. Then he gets legal status in the U.S. And after a period of time goes by, he files to get his green card. 3-step process, long, not easy to achieve, but possible. This was a horrific scenario, and it is one of many found by unaccompanied minors coming here to the U.S. because they fear what they're leaving, and they hope they're coming to a better place.